I'm definitely honored to be in that situation and a position to share the ring with another great. You know, it's gonna be a hell of a night come September 13th. No, it definitely don't matter. You know, the odds can't fight for him, so you know it is.
Terence Crawford has fired a bold warning at Canelo Alvarez ahead of their highly anticipated September 13th showdown. However, Virgil Ortiz isn't convinced Crawford can pull it off. Ortiz pointed to the massive size and weight gap, reminding fans that Crawford is leaping 3 divisions to take on one of boxing's most dangerous fighters. While he praised Crawford's ring, IQ, and technical brilliance, Ortiz believed Canelo's power, size, and razor-sharp timing will be the deciding factors that prove Canelo is still at the top of his game. Ortiz referenced the perfectly timed check hook Alvarez landed on Baranga. Still, Ortiz admitted that if Crawford somehow defies the odds and wins, he'd personally crown him as the greatest fighter of all time.
I think he is, but if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. Look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just gonna treat him as a 147 pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing. You know, the jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
But would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
Yes.
right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he gonna be able to even like to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter, and look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it.
Showbiz the Adult added another layer to the debate, saying there's a reason Terence Crawford so often brings up his fight with Ricky Burns. It was a pivotal moment in his career. He noted that even when Crawford faced fighters many thought would be too awkward or tricky, like Madrimov, he simply adapted, boxed smart, and got the job done. According to Showbiz, Crawford's biggest weapons have always been his natural gifts: sharp timing, quick reflexes, and the ability to land clean, precise shots. However, he pointed out that those same fights also show Crawford's vulnerability in exchanges. He reminded fans that Crawford was dropped by Egidijus Mean Machine Kavaliauskas, rocked by Yuriorkis Gamboa, and caught clean by Sean Porter. Showbiz pushed back against the idea that Crawford will suddenly reinvent himself for Canelo, stressing that at 38 years old, he's still the same fighter. Terence Crawford will always be Terence Crawford.
The reason why Crawford always brings up Ricky Burns because of this.
Burns needs to knock him out of that. Body shot wasn't the best.
Well, this one, the previous one.
Yeah, man.
That's Crawford, y'all. That's Crawford. That's the same one against Madrimov that y'all said Madrimov was too tricky. He ain't too tricky. Just box. Terence Crawford, even if he starts off boxing, at the end of the day, he uses his natural gifts, his timing, his reflexes, and everything to land great shots on you. And he does it, bam, and he gets hit in the exchange all the time. Got dropped by a Mean Machine doing that. Madrimov was popping, Gamboa rocked him. Sean Porter was catching him because he throws his. And y'all keep saying, well, in this fight, he's going to be totally different. He's 38 years old. That's what he's been. Y'all like Terence Crawford won't be Terence Crawford. I'm expecting him to be Terence.
However, Terence Crawford expressed gratitude for the opportunity, saying he's honored to share the ring with another great fighter in Canelo Alvarez. He assured fans that September 13th will be nothing short of an unforgettable night, promising it's going to be a hell of a show.
Definitely honored to be in that situation and a position to share the ring with another great. You know, it's going to be a hell of a night come September 13th.
Moreover, when asked if Canelo Alvarez's heavily criticized performance against William Skull boosted his confidence, Terence Crawford brushed it off by noting that his own last fight also drew criticism. In his view, both fighters have something to prove and will need to raise their game. When pressed on whether fans can expect a more aggressive, explosive version of him in the ring, Crawford kept it short and mysterious. Asterisk, that's why people need to watch the fight. Asterisk, he ended with a direct message to Canelo. Asterisk, see you soon. Asterisk.
So is this performance against William Skull? Did you take more confidence from that fight?
A lot of people criticized my last performance, so, you know what I mean? We both need to step it up, I guess.
That's one from me, Terence. Obviously, we've seen Turkey Al-Sheikh mention no Tom and Jerry fights. You've said yourself you're going to put it on him, you're going to come for him. Do we see an explosive Terence Crawford that people won't have been expecting to see?
That's why you got to watch the fight so you can see.
I'll get a message to Canelo.
See you soon.
Furthermore, Brian Norman Sr. made it clear he's backing Terence Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez. He admitted he's learned his lesson the hard way, having lost money in the past betting against Crawford, and now calls himself a true believer. Norman praised Crawford as an exceptionally skilled and highly intelligent fighter, someone he's seen up close and recognizes as a dangerous presence in the ring. He highlighted Crawford's elite boxing IQ, the kind that allows him to adapt and find ways to win against any style. Dismissing the idea that toppling Canelo is unrealistic, Norman insisted it's entirely possible given Crawford's unique skill set.
I got Crawford. I'm sorry. I'm about to say Canelo. Where'd that come from? I got Crawford. I man. I learned to not bet against Crawford. I won't bet against Crawford again. I lost a lot of money betting against Crawford. So you know, those days of my life are over with. I've drunk the Kool-Aid.
You're a believer now.
I'm a believer now. Yeah. Crawford is that guy, man. Crawford is that guy. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, and you know, I've seen Crawford personally. I've seen him in the ring personally, and I mean, he's a bad man. So I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to say, just like with my son, I'm gonna have to say, just with the boxing IQ, it's certain things, man. It's certain things. I think that Crawford's gonna figure out a way to win. I don't think this is so. I don't think for how some people are looking at this. I don't think it's so far-fetched that Crawford can beat him. I just don't see that so far-fetched as some people trying to make it.
Ryan Garcia weighed in on the matchup, saying that while anything can happen when two elite fighters collide, he doesn't see Terence Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez. He acknowledged Crawford could prove him wrong, but believes the size difference will be a decisive factor. Having trained alongside Canelo, Garcia emphasized that Alvarez is strong enough to push back heavyweights, and noted this will be the first time in a while Canelo enters the ring as the naturally bigger man. In his view, that advantage will allow Canelo to fight with more freedom and effectiveness. While Garcia respects Crawford's talent and accomplishments, he admitted that if money were on the line, he'd bet on Canelo.
Two great fighters, great things can happen. But I can see even Crawford getting knocked out like Amir Khan style though.
Did you give Terence Crawford any chance to beat Canelo?
I don't see it happening, but he could definitely prove me wrong. But I just think, bro, like, I mean, I've trained with Canelo, I've been around him. Bro can really push back heavyweight. So I don't know how he's like, because this is the first time Canelo's actually bigger than somebody in a long time. So it's like the weights are lifted off, and now he could fight even more freely, you know? So I'm actually interested to see, bro. I can't wait for the fight. I'm definitely going to be backing Canelo, but, you know, Crawford is a great fighter, and he could surprise me. But right now, where I would put my money is Canelo.
Coach Bernie voiced unwavering confidence in Terence Crawford, declaring he's certain Crawford will beat Canelo Alvarez. He emphasized that this fight isn't about measuring Canelo's talent, but showcasing just how exceptional Crawford truly is. That in Bernie's eyes, Canelo is only a supporting character in this story, while Crawford is the star. He insisted that this moment belongs entirely to Crawford, and everything is perfectly aligned for him to shine on fight night.
Crawford, man, I'm so happy for him, and he gonna beat that boy, man. And like I say, it's not about how it's Canelo. It's about how good Crawford is. That's all this shit is about. It's about Crawford. It's the Crawford. He just a weird person in the story. You understand? If you wrote this story, man, he just a mere person in the story. And then it was this Canelo and this. That's all it is. But Crawford is. This the main character in the story. This shit was lined up for Crawford. It's about Crawford, man.
He also acknowledged Canelo's past accomplishments, noting that a loss to Crawford wouldn't tarnish his legacy. Still, Bernie believes Crawford will succeed where others, including Erislandy Lara, fell short. According to him, Crawford will stand his ground, land pinpoint shots, and gradually wear Canelo down over the course of the fight. In Bernie's view, Crawford is simply the superior fighter, and he's fully prepared to prove it under the bright lights on fight night.
Canelo, he done done his thing. He you know what I mean? He can't take nothing away from him because he loses to Crawford. Hell no. But you got to give Crawford enough stand because he gonna do what Lara didn't do. He gonna stand there and bust his ass up. He gonna turn him up, boy. That's what he gonna do. He gonna shout out to Lara, but I'm just saying he gonna do what them other guys didn't do. He gonna him up, man. He gonna fight that motherfucker, man. He gonna beat Canelo's ass, man. And it is what it is. Canelo great, Bud just greater. That's it. Ain't no separation about that.
David Morrell weighed in on the Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez clash, calling it a very tough challenge for Crawford and asserting that Canelo is simply too strong. He hinted that Crawford might be taking the fight partly for financial reasons, but stressed that the danger is real. Morrell highlighted Canelo's physical strength and the difficulty opponents face in trying to beat him. In his eyes, Crawford will struggle to win, or even make it past the third round. Ultimately, Morrell gave Canelo a 60-40 edge in the matchup.
I say Crawford, but he's the crazy fight. It's too much fun for Crawford. I know he can do it for the money, but it's too much. It's too much pound for Crawford, and Canelo is not easy. Canelo is stronger. It's difficult. It's difficult for Crawford to win the fight or to stay there in the 12th round. So, I say 60-40 for Canelo.
Brian Bomack, McIntyre, Terence Crawford's head coach, expressed strong confidence that Crawford will emerge victorious against Canelo Alvarez. He also shared his pride in Crawford and the entire team, calling this another huge moment for them. Bomack emphasized that this fight is yet another chance for the world to see why so many regard Crawford as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in boxing today.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely confident that he's going to get the victory. Second of all, I'm just happy for him and the team. So, the world can see once again why he considered the best pound for pound.
Bomack also stressed that Terence Crawford is under no pressure heading into the fight because he always stays true to his own approach. He explained that no matter what Canelo or anyone else says, it won't affect Crawford's mindset. According to Bomack, their preparation is built around a single, well-crafted game plan, and the team has complete confidence that sticking to it will lead them to victory.
No pressure on Terence because Terence will fight the way that he's used to fighting. So by saying all that stuff that Turkey say or anybody else say, that doesn't bother Terence not one bit. We train for one way, the way we're going to fight, and that's the way we're going to get the job.
Finally, Bomack predicted that fans will be stunned when Crawford dismantles Canelo Alvarez. He explained that as Crawford continues adjusting to the heavier weight, he's becoming even more dangerous. Bomack believes that this growing comfort at the new weight will be a key advantage on fight night, one that could tip the scales heavily in Crawford's favor.
We're going to be surprised when he dismantles Canelo. The more time goes on, the more time Terence can settle into that weight, the worse is off for the opponent.
Kenny Porter shot down the notion that Canelo Alvarez would easily beat Terence Crawford, calling such claims pure nonsense. He revealed that he's known Crawford since his teenage years and has watched him overcome every challenge, from national tournaments to the world stage. Porter said Crawford has a unique ability to make tough fights look easy and reminded critics that the so-called nobodies he defeated were actually champions at the time. He concluded by making his stance clear. He never bets against Crawford and will always back him.
Well, that's total bullshit. That's total bullshit. See, because here's another thing where that's concerned. Bud has been a boxer since I first met him, he was like 12, 13 years old. So Bud has been tested in national tournaments, Olympic trials, Pan Am Games. We were in Venezuela together at the Pan Am Games. He's been tested so many times along the way that when he got to the higher levels in professional boxing, he made it look easy. And a lot of times, the guys that he made it look easy against, those are probably the guys that Canelo are saying, oh, that's nobody, it's nobody. Nah, dude, that's who they put in front of me. That's who the champion was at the time, and I beat him. And just like Bud said, everybody that they put in front of him, he has beat him. I'll never bet against Bud.
Kenny,
I got Bud.
Kenny, you think?
I never bet against.
Kenny also pointed out that neither Canelo nor Crawford will feel the pressure on fight night because both are built to handle it. He recalled how Canelo stepped in against Floyd Mayweather at just 21 or 22 years old, proving his mental toughness early in his career. As for Crawford, Kenny described him as calm, confident, and completely unfazed by big moments. In his view, both men are mentally sharp and fully prepared for the spotlight that comes with such a massive fight.
Either one of these guys feel pressure. These are the guys that are built for pressure. So, you know, Canelo stepped up against Floyd when he was, 21, 22 years old. He was a kid. Nah, there's no pressure for Canelo, right? And as far as Bud, he cool as the other side of the pillow, man. You know, he just, I know that personally. I know that personally. This dude is, you know, he's ice cold. Ain't nothing but, you know, ice cold running through his veins. And so there's no pressure. And then on the other side of it, as far as, you know, who's the guy that's better prepared for this? You know, each fight is different.
Finally, Kenny noted that this fight is special because neither man has ever faced an opponent quite like the other. He expects the opening rounds to be cautious as both take time to figure each other out. While Canelo holds the size advantage and greater experience at heavier weights, Kenny believes Crawford's adaptability will be the difference, that he called Crawford's ability to make adjustments mid-fight something rare and special, a skill that, in his view, sets him apart and will ultimately lead him to victory.
Neither one of them has fought anyone like the other. This is the first time for either. So there's going to be a little fill-out going on. And then I also expect that Canelo thinks, as he should, as if I was training Canelo, I should as well. I would feel the same way. He's got a size advantage, right? Even if Bud comes in at, you know, the same weight, the size advantage goes to the man who's been comfortably fighting there for a long period of time, you know, for a longer period of time. Give me a second, bro. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's that as well, but I think Bud overcomes that. You know, he usually, with anyone he's in there with, he usually figures him out. He's got this little thing in his brain that figures out everybody's in.
Manny Pacquiao called the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford bout a great matchup, but gave the edge to Canelo due to Crawford moving up in weight. He advised Crawford to focus on preserving and enhancing his speed and strength, stressing how challenging it could be to maintain quickness when jumping to a higher weight class. Pacquiao emphasized that speed will be the key to victory, urging Crawford to sharpen his footwork, maintain his explosiveness, and work on boosting his punching power to handle the demands of the heavier division.
Good fight. Good fight. Canelo has advantage because Crawford moving up, but my advice to Crawford is like maintain the speed, improve the speed, and improve the strength. Because it's hard to go up in a higher weight and maintain your speed. So speed is the key. Like he should focus on speed, footwork, and improve.
Furthermore, Colleton said boxing fans are in for a spectacular show when Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford meet in the ring. He emphasized that the fight is evenly matched, with both men having an equal chance to win. Monodun also shared his view that the matchup will be highly competitive and unpredictable, a dynamic that will make it even more thrilling for fans to watch unfold.
It's a big jump for sure, but I feel like Crawford definitely has a great chance. I feel like it's a 50-50 fight. I really don't know who will come out on top of that one. I just feel like the better man that night will win. So I feel like the fans are the winners in that one.
Keith Thurman commented that Canelo Alvarez will fight the way he always does, but the real question is how Terence Crawford will handle moving up in weight. He said Crawford's success will hinge on his training, preparation, and ability to remain quick and agile. Thurman stressed the importance of smart tactics, using the jab, feints, and angles to keep Canelo off balance. He referenced how Jermall Charlo adjusted after being knocked down, relying on movement and defense to limit Canelo's power. While smart defense alone might not guarantee victory, Thurman noted it could help Crawford survive, stick to the fundamentals, and follow boxing's golden rule: hit without getting hit.
Canelo is really, Canelo's going to be Canelo, man. He's really, I think all the variables lie on Crawford. Crawford is confident, but Crawford is outside of his zone. It's all about the training camp, the preparation, the extra weight, but still being agile, I believe that it's tactics and game plan. I hope he works behind that jab. I hope he works behind the feint, and I hope he uses small little angles and different things, almost like when Charlo got dropped, right? After he got dropped, he never got dropped again. And because he never got dropped again, there's evidence that a nice mover, keeping your hands up, you actually can not get hurt by Canelo. Now, that was not the keys to victory, because that was the keys of survival. But survival and tactics of not getting hit, the game of boxing is hit and not get hit.
Absolutely.
So to have the defense, to use the leg.
Abel Sanchez praised both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez as intelligent, highly skilled fighters, but ultimately leaned toward Canelo due to his size and defensive abilities. He noted that Canelo has absorbed big shots from hard punchers like Gennady Golovkin, Dmitry Bivol, and Sergey Kovalev without showing signs of wearing down, proof of his ability to handle power. Sanchez also pointed out that Crawford tends to get hit, even when fighting at 154 pounds, and warned that no matter how sharp Crawford looks or how much weight he adds, going up against Canelo's combination of size and strength presents an entirely different kind of challenge.
Well, first of all, Terence Crawford is a great fighter, but so is Canelo. I think that, in my opinion, their IQ is similar, except Canelo doesn't get hit like Crawford gets hit. In my opinion, Canelo's a bigger man. Not that he started out as a bigger man, but he's now a bigger man. He has been hit by not only Gennady, who's one of the biggest punchers that I've ever seen, but he's also been hit by Bivol, by Kovalev, who's a big puncher. He's been hit by big guys. Crawford had a hard time with a 154-pounder who hit him often. So I think that no matter how much weight he puts on, no matter how smart he thinks he is or how big he thinks he is, he's going to be getting hit by a truck.
Sanchez added that Crawford could find success early, using his speed and timing to steal a few rounds at the start. However, as the fight wears on, he expects Canelo's strength and experience to take over. By the 6th or 7th round, Sanchez believes Canelo will have settled into his rhythm, landing clean shots and controlling the pace. While Canelo isn't known for his footwork, Sanchez praised his upper body movement, head control, defensive awareness, and heavy punches. He predicted that Canelo will either stop Crawford in the later rounds or win convincingly on the scorecards, and cautioned that Crawford's corner must be prepared to step in if the fight becomes too one-sided.
I think that at the beginning, just like it was with Kell Brook and Gennady, at the beginning the speed and the talent will show in the fight. I think Canelo will lose 3 or 4 rounds at the beginning, but then once he starts pounding on him, as it's been for the last 6-7 fights of Canelo, after the 6th or 7th round, it's a sparring session for him. He just throwing bombs away and not caring about what they do to him. But he's got excellent defense. Unfortunately, his feet don't move as well as I would like for him to move them, but his upper body is just unbelievable. He slips punches very well. He's got great hands. He parries very well, and he lands big shots. He may not land as many, but he lands big shots that hurt. So I think Canelo stops him, or wide decision at the end, and corner must think about Crawford's safety now.
That's all for today's video. Now I want to hear from you. What's your take on the upcoming Canelo versus Crawford showdown? Who do you think walks away with the win and why? Drop your predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more boxing updates, and check out the other videos on your screen for more fight breakdowns and analysis.